Welcome to Marianne's Morning Talk. I'm Marianne Nickenick, VP of Networking and Collaboration at Westcon, and today we have a very special guest with us. Alex Higham from Audiocodes is there to talk distribution with us. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Hello, Marianne. Many thanks for having me on.
You have been in charge of distribution for over 5 years at Audiocodes now. Have you ever had to deal with a challenge like the pandemic has presented in your previous experience?
So, not really. There's been nothing quite like this, but I've been in the channel for many years, working my way up to this position of looking after distribution. So I've worked in distribution before, but I've always worked in unified communications technologies. So it's always been an advocate of working from home or remote working type solutions. And of course, this plays into, pre-pandemic. It's about global warming. It's about reducing CO2 into the atmosphere. And if you can reduce travel and work from home, and it's not necessary to travel, then you're doing some benefit to the environment. So I guess there's a similarity there. But yeah, I've been very lucky in the fact that COVID has pushed things forward about 5 years, and people have just said, right, we're adopting it now, not in 5 years' time. So it's been great for us at Audiocodes because obviously we've got lots of solutions in that space.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, it is way quicker now than expected, because when we are in EMEA positions, we are anyway working from home. But it's really interesting to see that, as an example with Westcon, yes, we have 3,300 employees around the world, which were in 3 days all working from home, that this was even possible. And when you see how we are evolving in the last 1.5 years, it works as well, not do all the meetings, yes, in a live meeting. But we are missing as well a little bit that socializing together. So I'm missing it definitely. And I'm very happy that it goes a little bit back to the office and back to seeing people.
Yes, very much so. We met yesterday, and it's the first time in a 1.5 years. So it's only the second time I'd seen Dan, one of our sales engineers, and it was great to see them. But then suddenly you've got this 2 hours of driving you've got more emails. You're so much more productive at home, actually trying to fit in the travel and actually meeting people. Suddenly the workload increases the following day. So we're all adjusting anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, but that is my experience as well. So you have your calendar full of meetings, logical wise, yes, during that pandemic, and now to get 1 day free that you can meet people is really a challenge. So that is something, because everybody thinks you are available anyway. So another thing, Alex, the Chippergeddon, how I call it, yes. How is that impacting Audiocodes? Is it impacting Audiocodes?
Yes, very much so. Manufacturing is tricky, and managing stock levels is tricky. Audiocodes, we are quite predominantly software-led and services-led, actually. So a lot of our solutions we can deliver via email, which is fantastic. And obviously a remote engineer can be managed remotely. But we have been in the device market for a while. We kind of teamed up with Microsoft in the main and launched some Skype handsets, and of course that's now moved into Teams. But we were never really known for that. We were known for the techie architecture type stuff with these UCaaS providers, and we never got invited to the table for devices. So the Chippergeddon has actually gone in our favour, because our competitors, I won't mention who they are because they're very good in that space, they approach our competitors, they can't get the stock, so the last resort is they come to Audiocodes, but we're now being invited to the table, and when they test our devices, they're actually pleasantly surprised. And then we have all the management wrap and the software solutions to include into that proposal, so it's less of a box shift type sell, but more of a solution as well. So although it's challenging, it's actually helping our business at the moment. It's great.
So till now, you do not have any issues with delivering the products. You are taking what other ones cannot deliver. anymore?
So we do. So we have paid extra to our suppliers and manufacturers to get us prioritized over perhaps other people, and that's affected the price and discounts we can go to. But I think it's trying to get that balance of the right price and availability. And we have put certain lines on priority production. So the lines that aren't doing so well, you're never going to get them. The ones that are doing well are generally in stock and we can ship, or at least we can commit to certain dates. So yes, but it's a careful management process at the moment.
That is great news. So Alex, Audiocodes is an Israeli company. Does that have any impact from a cultural point of view? Closed on Friday, open on Sunday, does that impact your life?
A little bit. When I joined Audiocodes, I knew Israeli culture a little bit before I joined, and it takes a bit of getting used to. I mean, yes, the working week is Sunday to Thursday, and quite often, somebody will ask me a question that needs a response from my headquarters in Israel immediately, and of course they're on their weekend and nothing happens until Sunday, and that can be great. If you need a favor on a Sunday, it's wonderful. But the real cultural difficulty that I found with Israel was that there is a different mannerism. In England, would you like a cup of tea? And there's lots of please and thank yous, whereas a please and a thank you in Israel is not comprehended quite so much. In fact, in some areas, if you say please and thank you too much, you're saying, well, you're being overly formal with me. You're supposed to be my friend. Why are you being overly formal with your friend? So getting that interaction, it can be a challenge. It sometimes comes across rude, but it's not rude. And I remember before pandemic, we had a sales kickoff in Israel. And something that I really noticed about Israeli culture was how welcoming they are. And, in terms of the food and that sort of culture, if you haven't got dinner to go to, they will invite you, they will bring you over, they will feed you and make you feel part of the family. And it's very much a family atmosphere as well. So I've actually had well, my wife's been very poorly this year. And, I let HR know. I said, look, it could be an issue. It might not be. But anyway, and they were so understanding. They've made things so much more flexible for me. And I think that's part of the Israeli culture that I really embrace.
Oh, that is great. And that's great to hear, because I think that family, yes, that is major importance that we have within Westcon as well. And that is something what I really like. But it is always as well coming from the leaders. Yes. So the more leaders wants to force that family behavior, I think then you can bring, even in a very big company like Westcon is, yes, you can bring that family friendly as well over. What do you feel are the best benefits distribution can bring to Audiocodes?
So distributors work in different ways. We work with a number in the UK and across the globe, in fact. But Westcon has always been a major one because of your breadth. And I'd say for Audiocodes, the pre-sales people at Westcon have been absolutely amazing. We have some very technical products. Yes, sure, some of our devices, it's just a box shift and you don't need to be too clever to sell it. But a lot of it is about building an infrastructure. Somebody's migrating from a phone system technology to a Microsoft Teams environment. And how do I do that? And what do I need? And of course, that your pre-sales can advise them, build a bill of materials, wrap in the service requirements needed, and really be an advocate, an extension of Audiocodes' own pre-sales team. So that's one of the biggest ones. And then secondly, we don't have any financial bases. We're headquartered in Israel. We don't have a UK company registered number. So the fact that you deal with credit lines and import the goods and deal with the taxes and hold stocks, I mean, the list is endless. And we are quite a global type transactional business as well. So somebody might buy a box for the UK, but they need to deploy devices in the rest of Europe, and then that needs to be managed. So you handle all of that for us. So that's, the list goes on and on and on. It's just like, oh, thank goodness. We've only got a regional team of 6 people, and time is one of the shortest things we have. So if Westcon take that time and value add for us, then it's brilliant.
Thank you so much for the compliments, Alex. Really appreciate it, and we'll give it definitely to our pre-sales teams. So can you tell me what's next in store for Audiocodes and Microsoft Teams? Because that is something very important for you.
It is. So we've been doing something called Teams Direct Routing, which allows people to bring their business lines into a Microsoft environment. And I feel, this is my personal belief, is we got there right early. We did lots of workshops with our partners to understand the technology, and I have to admit, I think we're market leader in that front on the solutions. It's called a session border controller, and you connect those lines in. And so we've done really well, and the business has shot up on our session border line, but up to the top of the graph, and now it's probably going to plateau a bit. So where do we get the next level of business? And I think that comes on to the other solutions. So it's, what do you think about next? I've got my business lines. What do I do with devices? What do I do with my meeting rooms that perhaps were Avaya or Cisco or, another vendor of some sort? What do I do with call recording? How can I move that into a Teams environment? And we have all these solutions available, and people are investigating them more. But then there's the bottom of the graph. What's going to be the next amazing thing? So, and we have such a brilliant R&D team in our headquarters. They're always planning ahead, and they've been looking into doing AI integration of voice, so converting voice into text, pumping that into an AI engine that allows you to therefore do something with that voice call. And so we have some AI gateways that are gaining traction. We've got this conversational IVR platform called Voca, where you can just talk, hi, put me through to so-and-so, or put me through to which department, and we can get that set up in like a few hours on a customer's legacy system that they might have been using, DTMF tones or dial 1 for sales or 2 for accounts. Instead, they can just talk and get put through to the right place and the right team.
Yeah, so we really like to work with Audiocodes, and I'm really happy that you have been on my call today. So thank you, and I hope we will hear great new things in the future as well.
You certainly will, Marianne. Thank you very much for having me. It's been a real pleasure.
Super.